Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Well, don't you ever wonder about the stars? I do. So I have my telescope here. It's not night yet, so I won't be able to see them, but I can see way up into the night sky with my telescope. And if you don't have a telescope, you can see some of the constellations and the stars in the stories that we're going to read, which are all about stars. So join us. Come on in for story time. And if you listen to the stories, you tell me which one's your favorite, which constellation's your favorite, which book is your favorite, and we'll have a prize waiting for you for pickup at the library. Zoo in the Sky by Jacqueline Mitten. Pictures by Christina Ballett. A book of animal constellations. When the sun sets, darkness falls. The stars appear one by one. Then the sky turns to a picture puzzle. What is hiding in these patterns of stars? Some people say they see only squares and squiggles, lines and loops. But imagine hard, and the sky comes to life. The star patterns make a wing here, a tail there, a twinkling eye, even a scorpion stinger. Sky watchers long, long ago imagined a whole zoo of animals. They shine there still when you are under the magic spell of the nighttime sky. The great bear quietly pads her way around the North Pole of the sky. Every day she makes the trip. Two bright stars across her back point straight to Polaris, the North Star. Hanging off Polaris by its tail, the little bear swings around behind her. You won't see bears quite the same anywhere else. Real live bears don't have long tails. Countless stars light the Milky Way. Along this silvery path with wings outstretched flies the swan. His eye gleams with a twin star, yellow and blue, called Albireo. He needs a good eye to keep a sharp lookout. The cunning fox runs beneath him looking for his dinner. The scorpion has a nasty sting in his tail. Beware as he scuttles across the Milky Way. His tail is curved around and he's waving his fearsome claws. Antares, a blood-red star, glows at his heart. But the wolf nearby is not afraid. After all, he's not such a friendly creature himself. Leo the lion is king of the beasts and lord of the sky. His brightest star lies close to his heart. That star's name is Regulus, which means the little king. Charging through the zodiac, here comes the bull. Head down, horns thrust forward, Taurus is ready to toss the twins. But they are safe, always on the other side of the Milky Way. The bull glowers with his brilliant red eye, the star Aldebaran. The great dog is chasing the hare, but knows he can never catch it. This dog is a splendid star-studded creature. His brightest star, Sirius, outshines all others in the night sky. Deep in the southern sky, the glittering goldfish swims alongside where the good ship Argo sails an ocean of stars. The flying fish gives chase and fun, soaring out of the waves. Now take care, he warns, we must not get caught. But the fish are safe in their starry sea. They will never be anyone's dinner. The whale is the greatest of all living creatures. He is one of the largest in the sky, too. A monstrous size, he is sometimes called the sea monster. On the whale's back, you find Mira, the marvelous star. See how red it glows by his fin? A zoo without birds would never do. In the sky, there's a whole flock parading by the South Pole. Tails on display, the proud peacock and bird of paradise show off to anyone who watches. The toucan's glory is his beak, studded with an orange star. The crane peers at them all, stretching his long neck. Red and blue stars shine on his back. The long, scaly body of the crimson-eyed dragon coils around the North Pole of the heavens. Take care, he might breathe fire. You won't find a dragon like him in an ordinary zoo, but the starry sky is magic, and one fine, sparkly night, who knows, you just might fall under its spell. This is a map of some of the stars in our sky, with their star pictures or constellations that you can see. Which one is your favorite story? Send me a message and we'll give you a constellation craft and a book that you can pick up at the library to keep. Thanks for listening and have a great week. How to Catch a Star by Oliver Jeffers. Once there was a boy, and the boy loved stars very much. Every night the boy watched the stars from his window and wished he had one of his very own. He dreamed of how the star would be his friend. They would play hide and go seek and take long walks together. The boy decided he would try to catch one. He thought that getting up early in the morning would be best, because then the star would be tired from being up in the sky all night. The next day he set out at sunrise, but he could not see a star anywhere, so he sat down and waited for one to appear. He waited, and he waited, and ate lunch, and waited, and after dinner, he waited some more. Finally, just before the sun was about to go away, he saw a star. The boy tried to jump up and grab it, but he could not jump high enough. So very carefully he climbed to the top of the tallest tree he could find, but the star was still way out of reach. He thought he might lasso the star with the life preserver from his father's boat, but it was much too heavy for him to carry. If only he could fly up in a spaceship and just grab the star. But the only spaceship he owned was made of paper, and it didn't fly well at all. Perhaps he could get a seagull to help him fly up into the sky to reach a star? But the only seagull he could find didn't want to help. The boy worried he would never catch a star. Just then he noticed something floating in the water. It was the prettiest star he had ever seen. Just a baby star. It must have fallen from the sky. He tried to fish it out with his hands, but when the boy reached out to touch the star, it just rippled through his fingers. Now the boy was sad, but in his heart the wish just wouldn't give up. Slowly he began walking home. And that's when he saw it, washed up on the bright golden sand. The boy had caught a star of his very own. For as long as stories have been told, people have been telling stories about the stars in the sky. Heroes, warriors, magical creatures and queens, all stories from ancient cultures as old as the earth. Well, this story is a little bit different. It's about a pig and what he sees in the sky. What will you see? Here's a pig who sees things in the stars. You can do it too when you look up in the night sky. Henry's Stars by David Elliott, published by Penguin Group. Henry sat quietly on his step, staring up at the night sky. It was a beautiful warm evening, and as he looked from star to star, they seemed to form a picture in the darkness. "Ooh!" he squealed. "What's that?" "It's a great big starry pig running across the sky." Henry raced over to the wool shed where Maisie, Daisy, and Clementine were getting ready for bed. "Bah! What's all the excitement, Henry?" they pleaded. "I've found the great pig in the sky," squealed Henry. "Where? Show us," said the sheep. "There are his ears, and there are his legs, and there's his curly tail," he said, pointing at a group of stars. "See?" Maisie, Daisy, and Clementine looked where Henry pointed. "Ah, yes, I see it," said Daisy. "There is a sheep's ear and a woolly body. How clever you are, Henry. You have found a great sheep." Just then Abigail came sauntering over. "What are you doing?" she asked. "Shouldn't you all be in bed?" "Bah! We found the great sheep of the stars," cried Maisie, Daisy, and Clementine triumphantly. "Great pig, actually," said Henry. Abigail looked at the stars. She craned her head and whisked her tail. "Ah, yes, I see it," she mooed excitedly. "There is a cow's horn," said Abigail, waving her hoof at the sky, "and a handsome cow's tail. It is definitely a great star cow, and she looks hungry. She thinks she may just eat those stars over there." Just then Mr. Brown came plodding over the yard. "What's all this?" he whinnied. "Why are you all staring into the sky?" "We found the great star cow," mooed Abigail. "The great sheep of the stars, actually," said Maisie, Daisy, and Clementine, frowning. Henry just sighed. "Move over. I'll settle this," said Mr. Brown, getting himself comfortable. They all waited while Mr. Brown looked carefully at the sky. "Ah, yes, I see it," he snorted finally. "It's a great starry horse. I see his head and his mane and his hooves flying. He's galloping like the wind. How nice of you to find him." "You mean the great star cow," said Abigail indignantly. "Bah! He means the great sheep of the stars," argued the sheep. By now the chickens had joined in. "Look," they squawked, pointing their wings. "Heavenly hens flying all over the place." "Excuse me," said Henry sternly. "There are no great sheep of the stars, or great star cows, or great starry horses, or heavenly hens. There's just my great pig, and that's that." But now, when he looked up at where the great pig once was, all he saw was a sheep's ear next to a cow's horn on a galloping horse's body. What happened to his great pig, he wondered. Henry sighed, his mind all a-clutter. He decided to go back home. He sat forlornly on his step and stared up at the sky. He was beginning to think that his friends might be right. Maybe there was no great pig after all. But as he sat there wondering, slowly the squabbles of the farmyard dwindled away into the night, and Henry found himself alone again with the stars. "Oh," he squealed, "I see it! I see it!" There, running in starlight across the night once more, was Henry's great pig. He couldn't wait to show the others. So look in the night sky and think about what pictures you can find and what stories they tell.